morning, everyone. Again.
Morning.
Right. Uh, so today, now we are going to focus on teaching online, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Meet. So those are the things that today we are going to discuss in detail. Let me explain few things because I thought of explaining this because most of the staff members are not aware of these things. So basically, now in your homes, you are getting internet through maybe SLT, maybe Mobitel, maybe through Dialog. So they called internet service providers or ISPs. So in state universities, we are getting internet called organization called Learn. Right. So this is situated in Peradeniya University. So they provide us the internet. So now, as a start, Wayamba University now, as you are aware, we have three premises: Kuliapitiya, Makandura, and Labuyaya. So Kuliapitiya and Makandura, we are getting 300 Mbps internet line with 150 Mbps backup line. So don't think it is altogether 450 Mbps, right? It's not. It's 300 Mbps. So that is coming through Sri Lanka Telecom via fiber, and also we are getting another fiber link from the Dialog because they are connecting us to the Learn network. So Learn is acting as the internet provider for all state universities. Now in Wayamba University, Kuliapitiya Promise has one 300 Mbps line and 150 Mbps backup line, and the same setup goes for Makandura. And in Labuyaya also, we are having a little bit less number of feed line than this. It's 100 Mbps at the moment. So for your information, right? So we are spending monthly around 1.6 million for the internet bill. So therefore, we need to get the maximum utilization. Now, according to our analysis, the utilization of internet is less than 20%. So therefore, we need to, not because of the corona situation, but altogether for past maybe 5-6 months. So it is the same, right? So with that, how we get the online services. Now, from here onwards, now I told you even yesterday, we are going to introduce some online services along with your institutional email. So this is how it works. Right? Now, Learn is acting as the intermediate or the internet service provider or the ISP. So when an internet service is required, a login, what it actually do is, now Learn is also having a lot of connections, lot of services purchased under them. So they are providing that services free to their users. That means state universities. So what they do is, let's say for an example, if you want to access Zoom service, so that is an internet service. So Zoom accounts, right? Paid account has been purchased by the Learn. So Learn has the account. Now altogether, I think now they have almost 12,500 or something like that accounts with them. So they are releasing them to universities. So how we can access them? So basically, if somebody wants to access a service purchased by the Learn, so first you have to visit the Learn Identity Access Federation website. So on there, you have to select from which university you are coming from. Then you will be directed to University Authentication Services, those particular services to be authorized. So that means in our university, in Wayamba University, Kuliapitiya has one set of authentication servers, Makandura has one set of authentication servers. So therefore, users in Kuliapitiya, they need to create accounts in Kuliapitiya authentication servers, and in users in Makandura, they have to create their accounts in Makandura authentication servers. So don't mix them up, because if you try Kuliapitiya, people try to access through the Makandura servers, they won't work. So say that goes for vice versa, right? So from Kuliapitiya side, what we do is we are using your institutional email as a authentication identifier. So that means you have a unique identifier, your institutional email. So with that, we are authenticating you to learn back. So you are a authorized user. So learn is providing that information back to the internet service, and your login is on. So that means individual institutions do not need to purchase individually the Zoom or whatever internet service available. So Learn can purchase them if it is necessary for all the universities. They are going to purchase them. Without them, we can do that also, but it is easy because they are handling all the technical stuff and other thing. We just need to give the authorization. That's all. So now this has been implemented successfully. This is implemented. Now it is running on. So therefore, without the institutional email address, you cannot access to any of these services. So therefore, you need to protect your institutional email address. So create it properly, add a profile picture, fill out all the information necessary, because even with blank information, sometimes the internet services might refuse you. So they are checking your profile. Therefore, you need to fill all the information required. So please update them as soon as possible, so you can access the services without interruption. Right. So now let's talk about online teaching. At the present, we have three options available. Right. First one is you all know that Zoom, now what we are currently using. Second option is Microsoft Teams, and third option is Google Meet. Right. Maybe you are aware, maybe you don't. But before this Zoom came into the action, Google Meet was already there with our institutional package. Right. Okay. Before moving on, let me explain a little bit. Now, keep in mind, these three services are not free. Right. So that means if you want the full features to be accessed on these three services, you need to pay. So for an example, for Zoom, you need to pay $15 per month per account. That means per user, you have to pay $15 per month. In Microsoft Teams, you need to pay $6 per month. And in Google Meet, again, $6 to $7, can't remember the exact amount, per month. So those are for the premium users. Now, due to this corona pandemic situation, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, and all Zoom, everybody has released their premium accounts to be accessed for a particular period without any payment. So now they have made available those services until 30th of September. After that, it is not going to be free. Right? So with Zoom, what we have is now, as I mentioned earlier, Learn has a special grant to implement these online teaching methodologies. So they have already got 5,000 accounts under a grant. So I think grant is going for another few years. I don't know exactly, but they told me that if even the grant is over, if they find this is useful, they are going to keep it. So that means they are paying for the service and they are offering it for the state universities free. So now without premium, all these three services have some free services as well. Now I have seen some of you have already registered with free accounts, and they have some limitations. For Zoom, you already know, I think, with the free account, you get only 40 minutes of time for a meeting. So participants limit is 100 for a free account. Now, with us now, we have Zoom Pro accounts, paid accounts. So that can facilitate up to 300 participants per meeting with duration of 24 hours straight ahead. With Microsoft Teams also the same situation. They are allowing only 60 minutes of time with the free account, but fortunately they have released premium accounts for academics for free. Now we have already completed setting up those accounts as well. Today we are going to share them with you. So you can log in into a different Microsoft account with the information that we give to you. So your license will be valid for lifetime. That means it is unlimited period of time. To do that, you need to successfully use these services for 6 months. That is the only hurdle there. Without using, you are not going to get it for a lifetime. So if you use it for 6 months time properly, so you will be allowed lifetime without any payment. So that means a lot of services will be available to you free of charge. Now, with Microsoft Teams, you can go up to 350 participants with your license version, up to 300 hours straight ahead meeting. So Google Meet, you have the premium version now, not the enterprise version, which goes for 1,000 users. No, this is GSUD for education license. So we can go up to 250 participants, 300 hours. Now keep in mind, people, Google Meet will stop that service after 30th of September on this year. Microsoft Teams, you will be getting a license, and Zoom you will get a license. So therefore, you can use Zoom and Microsoft Teams premiumly, other than Google Meet. Okay, so summary, right? Let's go with the demonstration. Now, let me show you a few more things, how you can get the accounts, how you can set it up, how you can use it, right? So before moving on to that, any questions need to be answered? Anything you wish to know about the internet connections or learn services, or what is learn or something?
Good morning, Dr. Panet. Can you hear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Now you said that you are creating the accounts for the Zoom meetings. So
Yeah.
far, did you create accounts and assign us some identity?
It is like this, sir. Now, for Microsoft Teams, we have created the accounts because it is a request from the Microsoft side. We need to create, a central person need to be creating the accounts. For Zoom, it is the same, but today we are going to give you a link to create your accounts by yourself. Those who did not had the account so far. Now, there are some restrictions as well. Now, let me share this information which came from the Learn. Now, they have identified that after giving the Zoom premium accounts, some people in some universities, I'm proud to say none of in the YMB University, because they clearly said none of in the YMB University, so has used that premium account for personal uses like conducting tuition classes and doing school work with the account. So that is not a good thing to do, because it is given to use of university work. So therefore, they specifically ask not to use for personal uses. So I have to remind that because Learn is our internet service provider, they have exclusive right to monitor what we do with their software, their purchases. So they will monitor what are you doing with Zoom. That means they are not picking their eye on your meetings, right? They are not listening to your meetings, they can't, but they can monitor from the internet service provider level. They can monitor who are the people connecting. So they have some algorithms to check is this a household use, or they can track, because they are monitoring for a particular period of time and they know, right? These are the
excuse me. That
yes.
means we can't conduct the class, but we can listen to the other. Now, so many meetings are coming for us, but we are listening them.
Sir, it's like this, sir. Because to join a meeting, you don't need an account. So now for today's this session, I have created the session. So I need an account. That only myself is needed the account. Others don't need. So that goes for Microsoft Teams and Google Meet as well. So only one person is going to conduct the meeting. That person need to have the account. So today we are going to give everybody, all the academic staff, the account. So you can hold your own meetings. That means you can set your lecture or whatever. It's up to you. But keep in mind, there's one restriction for you. One request, don't use it for personal stuff. So it is not ethically good. Second one is, definitely you have to use your account to hold a meeting, at least one meeting in a week. If you do not do that, Learn is going to convert your premium account back into a free account. So then again, you are in a big trouble. So you need to write letters and other stuff to, few emails and explain the situation. And yes, a lot of things need to be done. Therefore, after giving you the account, please use it. because they are they are spending a lot of money on that, so we need to use it. Okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
exactly, sir. So with that, let me continue on to the other services. Right. Right. Hope you can see my browser. Right. So this is the first thing to know. Right. I told you about something about Learn Access Federation, Identity Access Federation. So this is this. So when you ask for a particular service, right, you don't need to remember this, right? Because when you try to log into a particular service, a Learn service, you will be directed into this page. So you don't need to remember, right? So if you go to the participant, let me quickly show you that. So they have started recruiting people on 2018. So the Industrial Technology ITI was the first. So and not how to say, but okay, we were Five University Kolyapitia. We joined very recently. Mark Andura did join on February. So now, luckily, entire YMB University is there. For Labuyai provinces, all the services currently being provided with Kolyapitia ICT Center. So therefore, entire university is covered. Right. So that's the thing. Now, next thing, let's start with Zoom. Now, people don't have, one second, please. Okay, there's a question. Okay, there are a lot of questions. Okay, let me explain those one by one. Right, there's a question coming through the chat. So let me explain one by one. Okay, so what I'm explaining here is applicable to staff members in Kolyapitia premises. Okay, because in Kolyapitia we have created a separate software, a separate small web application to create your own accounts. So let me go to that. Okay, so you need to remember this address who are in Kolyapitia only, right? app.wyb.ac.lk/Zoom. Okay, so this is a temporary temporary service that we have launched to create the Zoom account. So if you browse to this address, you will end up with a small form like this. So here you need to provide some details: your title, your first name, last name, your institutional email address, your mobile phone number, definitely in international format. +94 should be in front, and you have to select the faculties. Now I have included Mark Andura faculties as well, but this is not actually shared with ICT Center Mark Andura because they have already completed. I think according to my knowledge, they have already almost completed providing accounts. So therefore, I think Mark Andura people do not need to do this because they have no control over this. So select your faculty, select your department. Let's say applied sciences. So departments are there, and give a password here. Now this password you have to keep in your mind, because for all internet services provided by Learn or provided by university is using this password, right? So your institutional email address as the username, and this one as the password. So therefore you need to remember the password very clearly. So whatever password you can give is here, but the minimum length is 8 characters. So there can be some errors if you do something wrong. So please adhere to those messages and complete the form. If you successfully submit the form, there will be a message saying congratulations, your account, your information has been recorded. So that means your account has been created. So ICT Center Kolyapitia has to manually activate your account. So we will do it within 1 day. We will give you all the accounts available to you. So that means you are actually, what you are doing here is you are not only creating a Zoom account, you are creating an account in our authentication server. So Zoom service will be available to you with this information. Not only Zoom, later we are giving you the very list of services available. There are a lot to you. So when you are logging into that services, you don't need separate account or you don't need anything to be filled out. You just need to visit that page and select YMB University and give your username and password. That's all you need. So let me show you that as well. So this form, app.wyb.ac.lk/zoom. Please fill this out. So people who already have the Zoom accounts, you don't need, because your account has been already created. So those who don't have the Zoom accounts, please go to this page and fill this out. So we will create your account for you within 1 day time. So you will be informed what need to be done next. So any questions up to that?
Sir Ravindra. Hello, sir.
Yeah, Ravindra.
Yeah, I have already counted. Is there a possibility to change the passwords?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, changing password, updating your information can be done. So we will provide that link in future as well. Maybe within next week, we will create a separate page to you to update your information as well.
Thank you, sir.
Upanit, just a small question like this.
Yes, sir.
I have created a free account using the WIB email.
Yes, sir.
Now, is there a problem of going to this one since I have a free account?
No, sir, really no. When you log through this system, Zoom will automatically recognize your email and inform you that you have already a basic account.
Yeah.
Do you want to switch to premium?
All right.
So you have to select, I need to switch to premium, then your account will be available premium. I will show you, sir, we have to find how to identify your account as a premium or not.
Right, okay, thanks.
Okay. So after doing this, what you need to do is, okay, think now you need to conduct a Zoom lecture. So you need to create, the technical term is a meeting, right? So go to your Zoom account and create a meeting. So this can be done in several ways. For the first time users, let me explain how to do it, right? So the address you need to visit is learn.zoom.us. So definitely you need to go to Zoom website through this address. If you directly go to zoom.us, you will be in a big trouble. So even visiting that way you can do it, but the technique is different. So please, with the first time using, you need to go through this link, right? Learn.zoom.us. So when you visit that, you will be directed to Lanka Education and Research Network Zoom Access web page. So in here, you can join, you can host, and you can sign in. You can do 3 things here. Now, before moving on, let me focus on these 2 graphs. This is kind of really important. Now, if you observe, the first graph is the on-premises system load. This is live. So today, now the time is almost 10 o'clock. Now, if you observe like here, starting from 9, let's say around 9:30 time, the entire Zoom was reached more than 100%. So that means the entire system is busy. So people who try to join on that time might experiencing some technical difficulties. So now the load is low. That means, yes, freely we can use Zoom. So always advisable, avoid the red bars, right? So you can get an idea with second graph, the week graph. So how the system was loaded during the past week. So you can identify the times when the bars goes red. So always avoid those times when you are scheduling meetings, right? So this is kind of a guideline to you. They always says our system may be busy sometimes during office hours. Please try your best to avoid scheduling meetings, lectures to start red zones, right? So please use that. Otherwise, you will be in big trouble. Okay. So that means usually from 9 to 3 p.m. The system is overloaded. So not recommended using those hours for very important things because if it is a very important thing, if a technical difficulty arises, you will be in big trouble. Okay, so after going to this site, go to sign in, right? Go sign in. You will be redirected to the Learn Identity Access Federation website. So, can you all excuse me for 1 second, please? Sorry about that. And there's a small issue on my side. Can you all excuse me for 2 minutes time? I'm going to leave the meeting and join you back. Or let me try another method. If I disconnected, please hold on because I will be back. Darshan sir, are you there?
Yes, Upanit, I'm here.
Sir, I'm having a little bit of problem here because electricity board is here. They need 2 minutes of time for reconnecting some wires. Can you all excuse me for 2 minutes time? I'll be reconnecting again within 2 minutes.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
There is no any other solution. We are waiting, right?
Right. I think, yeah. Okay, I'm back luckily with the mobile phone. So, okay. Okay, we can continue. Right. Sorry about that. Right. So you will be redirected to this one. Now that means now you are at the Learns authentication server. So from here, they don't authenticate you. Hope everybody can hear me, right?
Yes, Upanit, we can hear you.
We can.
I think,
okay, so
yes,
thank
everyone.
you. Because the power is gone, but I'm connecting through the mobile, so no problem. Okay. So from here, what you need to do is mention your organization. So that is Vimb University. Now, when you type Vimb University, you will be given two choices, Kolyapitia and Markandura. Now you can understand people who are in Kolyapitia authentication server. So you need to select Kolyapitia. Markandura, you need to connect to the Markandura service. Right. And LWI people, you need again to connect to the Kolyapitia for the time being. Right. So select it and select continue. Right. So after giving that information, you will be redirected to a page now which is in our control, right? So now here, what we do is, now you are in our university, Kuliapitiya premises authentication server. You need to give your username and your password, right? The same password you are giving here. So for the Kuliapitiya people, your username will be the first part in your institutional email. That means before the @ mark, right? The name appears before your @ mark part would be your username, right? So my email address is upanith@wyb.ac.lk. So my first part before the @ mark is Upanith. So I'm using that as my username. So please use that. Please keep that in mind, right? So after giving your username and password, you need to click login. So your account will be authenticated and you will be redirected back to the Learn, back to the Zoom service, right? So now you are in the Zoom account. So now I mentioned you yesterday even, if you need to select set a profile picture to your email address. So I have set a profile picture to my email address, therefore the same will appear here, right? So this is your account profile picture. So if you click that, your name will be appear here, your institutional email will be displayed, and in here you will see on-prem, right? That is means on premium. So if it is not appearing, please let us know. We will check and upgrade it for you. So this should be appearing. That means you are in the premium account. So premium facilities will be available to you. That means 300 participants, 24-hour straight ahead meetings, right? So, right. Now, rest of the things, I will share in a little bit later. So this is basically, up to now, it is all for the Zoom. I will come back to these panels in few minutes, and let me share the rest of the things with you, right? So people who already have the accounts, like Vidhan Patiran sir told me that he is having a free account. So when you directed here, you will be asked, your email address will be automatically detected, and you will be asked, you have a basic account detected, so do you need to switch to the premium? So select, I need to switch to the premium. And people who don't have it, again they will ask for confirm their email addresses. So click, there's a button will appear here, so you need to click it. So there's a confirmation email will come to your email account, and you need to click that link in the email to activate your account. So that means they are checking your email address is valid and working. So you need to give those steps. I think most of you are familiar with those kind of things when you are creating accounts with other systems. So we'll keep this information now. We hold Zoom for now, and shall we move back to Learn? So now let me give a brief information which is given to me by the Learn to share with you. Now Learn is also a member of EduGain network. So EduGain is again a network, computer network, connecting all the education institutes in the world. So this is one. EduRoam is another one. So if you click the link and go here, you will see, you will get a lot of information about EduGain. And 1 second. So if you go to EduGain participants, right? So this is the worldwide coverage. So that means all these orange color area, that means the participants. So if you visited one of these countries, right, the orange colored countries, and if you go to a university on that country, you can access their services with the Learn account, right? Or the account, account provided by the institute, right? So our network. So let me share. Yes, yeah, right. So Sri Lanka is on the list. So you can see all the information here, right? If you need more information, please visit to these sites and check. Now they are on the Learn is on the way to connecting to the EduRoam, another network like EduGain. So there are big networks, educational networks. So the universities in other countries, if they have, let's say for an example, supercomputer cluster for calculations, you can access them if you are in the same network, right? Under this kind of agreement, then you can access that. So those facilities will be informed to you in due course, because one by one we are getting those services available, right? So with that information, let me go back and share some information on Microsoft Teams and Google Meet as well. Then come back to Zoom again and explain a little bit further, right? So let's close this. Okay, so now I told you, let me start with Google Meet, right? Let me log into my account. So now when you log into your Gmail account or the Google account, in here in the Google Apps, under the Google Apps icon, all the services available to you will be displayed, right? So if it is not displayed, please go to the bottom and more from G Suite Marketplace. So under that, there will be free services. Please tick them out so they will appear here, right? There are hundreds, millions of softwares available, so you can get any of them under your package, right? So these are the free services given by the Google, right? So Google Meet is there. So we are on Google Education license, so therefore we get a lot of premium features as well. So if you click the Google Meet, right, it is if we compare Zoom, Microsoft Teams and Google Meet would be the simplest to use. So only thing is you need to log into your Google account and go to the applications and select Google Meet. You will be directed to the Google Meet page. What you need to do is click here, join or start meeting, right? So let me say test meeting, right? So the meeting will be created, but unfortunately, camera is not going to share because I'm not going to share my camera or microphone because I have given those to the Zoom, right? If I connected with the Google Meet, you won't hear a thing what I'm saying. So therefore, I'm not going to connect it. So yeah, no one else is here, right? So now the meeting is created. So this is fairly easy comparing to Zoom. Google Meet is fairly easy to use. So what you need to do is click join now, right? Okay, so when you come to this point, right? So this is the address, right? What you need to share with the other people who are joining to the meeting, right? So let me copy that and let me share it everyone in the meeting, right? So can one or two people, all right? Can one or two join? Okay, so we got one person joined, right? Yeah. Can others, few of you can click the link and try to join? So please don't share your microphone or camera or anything. Yeah. So now people are joining, right? So now we have two people join. Like that, you can go up to, as I can remember, 350, right? Yeah, 250 people. Okay, see? Now, Darshana sir, see that you have tried to log with your other Gmail account. So that the host will be informed, okay, somebody from without the organization limit try to join. So either you can admit or you can visit, right? So this is the way you can use Google Meet. So it is fairly easy. So there's no pre-scheduling or anything. So once you need to hold a meeting, you can use it, right? So try this, right? So nothing will happen, don't worry. The ICT centers in Kolyapitiya and Makandura, they have the privilege of, doing something, giving you some support if something happens to your email account. See again, Nama Chaturanga, right? Outside the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. try to join, right? So I can deny or I can admit, right? So it's admit, right? Will be here, right? So okay, let me turn off this, right? So that is how you can hold a Google Meet meeting. So it is very simple, right? So you can try this with your department people or with your colleagues or friends. So there's no restriction, and keep in mind, people, for the data, yes, there's a charge, right? People who are connecting from homes, connecting through mobiles, connecting through other media, rather than you are staying in the university, you will be charged for your mobile data, right? So, but for the Zoom, at the moment, this is the situation. Now, the LEARN has requested from the government, and the government agrees, and through the TRC, Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, the government has informed to all the internet service providers like Sri Lanka Telecom, Mobitel, Dialog, Etisalat, and all the others, to make sure that the data accessed by the LEARN network, make it free. Don't charge for it. But now today morning I have checked that with the LEARN. What they have said is, now due to the present situation, now we are getting released little. We are releasing from the COVID situation. Due to that, some service providers has already starting to charge. So therefore, you may experience some charging, maybe with telecom, maybe with Dialog, maybe with Mobitel. We can't exactly say these people are charging, these are not. Now, definitely within next coming few months, let's say maybe when it goes to August or something like that, definitely everybody will start to charge, right? So therefore, what they have done is, they have introduced some mobile packages with high limit of gigabytes. So they are going to sell that to the students and staff to be used for these kind of things, right? Meetings and other stuff. So they are not allowing to browse Facebook or YouTube or whatever other social media networks through that package. They are only allowing to hold meetings like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Meet and those stuff. So that is how they are going to plan for the future. So therefore, yes, sir.
But student complain that their data packages are quickly over, that during even the COVID time, they charge. So many people complain that that LEARN is not giving free of charge. Why that?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you well because my connection was dropped. Can you please repeat?
That the student complained that their data package quickly over. It is not free for them. Why it is that?
It is because of that reason, sir. Now, at the very beginning, 1 month back, everybody in the country, all the internet service providers, they released the LEARN data. That means all the data accessed by the universities and other research institutes and every organization coming under LEARN network. But now, little, they are coming back to their normal life, right? That means they are starting to charge little by little. Some networks now already have started, some are not, still some are not, because government is not also pushing, because selling the data is their job, right? So therefore, there are some limitations that we have to understand. Now, without giving free data, what they do is, they are selling new packages to students and staff. So that is what they are doing now. So please be informed. So that is what will be the future, right? So if you purchase that package, let's say they are giving, I think, 100 gigabytes for 500 rupees or something like that. But you can't browse to other social media. You can't go Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and those things you can't see. So, but for the Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, and your institutional email, LMS logins, they are working. So that is what they do. So they are charging a very less amount, and that is how they do. That is fairly acceptable due to the technical from point of view. That is a little bit acceptable, because they can't monitor all the IP addresses and everything coming through the LEARN network, because if that's so, the entire network will be filtered out, then that will make the lot of technical difficulties, lagging and slowing down and a lot of things. So maybe to avoid that they are doing, or maybe to continue their business they are doing. So
Dr.
we'll
Upanit,
see.
can I ask a question on that?
Yes, sir.
At the beginning, about 1 month ago, we contacted few students and asked them to deliberately check data charges
Yes, sir.
on usage of LMS.
Mhm.
Not exactly Zoom, but LMS, that when they were downloading large files. And
Yeah.
they confirmed that they were free of charge, at least I think 2 carriers, major carriers. Do we have to now warn student that it may not be the same right now, since you indicated that
Uh,
some companies are,
yeah. So that is
taking away the privilege?
yeah, that is what actually I got from the Learn side, so Learn technical side. So they told me, yes, that is happening, but that is not official still. Yeah, officially nobody is saying we are not we are going to charge. So technically they are doing. My idea is we'll wait. Let's say at least until June. Now from ICT side, we have received several complaints from the students as well. So at the very beginning, there were complaints. Now we inform them to check. Definitely, your data would be showing the usage. It should be, but check. We ask them to check whether for that data they have been charged or not. So a lot of them informed us, okay, sir, it is the data usage is shown, but there's no charge for that. But time to time, there were complaints from from 1 to 5 students around there. There were some charging is happening. So we informed that to the Learn as well. So they take the necessary actions, and it came to a settlement. But now even the Learn cannot guarantee that is that entire data accessing is free for all the networks. But as I know, all the major carriers like Dialog, Mobitel, and SLT, for sure they are not charging, because they can keep up with the demanding, but others might not. Because when I checked the complaints, all came with HSLR, Hutch, Airtel, and those kind of subscribers. So not from Dialog, Mobitel, or the SLT users. So
Yeah,
that's
I
the
think
thing.
on the other hand, it is hard to make a clear judgment from the student or anyone's claim, because it is hard to see the background processes of any computing device, ne?
Yes,
Because
yeah,
they
yeah,
may
yeah.
be drawing
Yes.
data from other things also when you are
So
online.
separating that is quite a difficult task. Even for
Yeah.
the ICT, it is quite difficult.
All
So,
right. Thank you very much.
okay, sir. So we'll continue, right? So I think you can manage something with the students, what to say. Okay, so that is the technical stuff. Right. Let's looking into the Microsoft Teams as well. Spending few seconds. Okay. Now, let me explain one thing. Now, if you log into your Gmail with your institutional email, you will get a lot of other facilities like other softwares as well, right? Google Docs, Sheets, Calendar, Drive, and other stuff. So in the Microsoft also, the situation is same, right? So what you need to do is, first you have to go to the office.com. So office. So with office.com, will be asked to sign in. Now keep in mind, these services are not going through the Learn or the university authentication. These are directly given premium services, already purchased ones. So therefore, you can directly log in, right? So now what you need is, we need to give our email address. Now keep in mind, now my email address is upanit@wyb.ac.lk. Now you will be wondering, what is this KUL part, right? So keep in mind that our email service is already given to the Google, or we are using the Google services. So therefore, upanit@wyb.ac.lk cannot be assigned to Microsoft as well, because Microsoft is also a email service provider. So they are using the email address to authenticate users as well as same as the Google. So therefore, our email addresses, upanith@wyb.ac.lk, the original email address is with the Gmail. So Microsoft cannot use the same thing to use with Microsoft. So therefore, what they have asked is, okay, so we have two premises according to the ICT, we have two premises, Mahadura and Kuliapitiya. So what we can do is give another identifier to Makandura and Kuliapitiya separately to make a unique email. So what we have done is we have introduced KUL part for Kuliapitiya accounts, MKD part for Makandura accounts. So that means you will get another email from Microsoft under this address. So don't worry about that. That is for the identifier. If you wish to use Microsoft email as well, so what you can do is you can combine two accounts, Google and Microsoft together with the filters what we have teach you yesterday, right? So it is pretty easy. You can forward all your Gmail account to Microsoft and you can stick into Microsoft account, or you can put a filter in Microsoft account and only use Gmail account. Every email coming to your Microsoft account will be redirected to the Google account. So in that way, you will only have to access one email account to get the emails in both accounts. Okay, so that is the basic explanation. Only change that happens here is for the Kuliapitiya people, you will be introduced KUL dot part in between the @ and WYB address, right? So your username would be there, right? So you will be given a common password. Now I have set my password. Today we are sharing the document. So in there we have set common password for everybody. So at the first login, you will be asked to change your password according to your choice. So therefore, please update your password when you log in for the first time, right? So when I say sign in, so I will be at Microsoft. Now I'm inside my Microsoft account, right? So like this, we have several applications available to us by default, right? So one is Outlook.
Dr.
That is the
Upanith,
email service. Yes, sir.
may I interrupt a little bit?
Yes,
There are some staff members, non-academic staff members also from our department is joining.
Yes, sir.
Are they also getting the same facility or only for the academics right now?
No, sir. Actually, we have been given 5,000 accounts. So therefore, all the academic staff, administrative staff, non-academic staff, and students will get this facility.
Very good. All right. Thanks.
So we are distributing all the information layer by layer. Now, very first, we are giving the information to academics and we are sorting it out, their problems first. Then we go to the administrative and then we go into the non-academic staff. Then we go to the students. Because students are not yet came to the university, therefore we have more than enough time. Because this cannot be conveyed through Zoom to the students like this. So it is quite difficult. So
plan is that when the students are leaving the university, you are taking back the privilege to the new, give back to the new student. Is that
actually we are not rolling back the privilege given, sir. This is this account is for lifetime. So therefore, we cannot remove a student from their account and give it to another account. It is not possible. So
since you said 5,000, that is why I asked, because
5,000 is there now. Say in this year we have completed 3,000. Where the new batch comes, we will distribute the rest of the accounts with it.
Yeah, no, but how would you be going for 10 years time then if it is 5,000?
No, sir. Actually, we can't go for 10 years because we have to understand this is a premium service. So this is a paid service. So because of the corona situation, Microsoft has released these things for free.
All right. Great.
So it is like a package we received because of this disastrous time. So after it's finished, it's gone.
It is
now,
gone. Thank you.
Yeah. After 5,000 accounts, when a new academic staff member joined, sorry to say, you did not
getting.
Yeah, they are not getting, sir, because they did not join with the proper disastrous time. So, right. So that's what it is. Now, don't worry. Now, usually we ask from the Microsoft, so they agreed Now, depending on situation in the countries like our countries, so they will be not restricting these things to 5,000 accounts. So we can get more. So therefore, I think there won't be a problem. For each academic staff member is joining, that is more worth than 40 students. What the Microsoft says, when one academic member's account is given, there are 40 free student accounts were given to the system. So, so that means we have more accounts available. So not to worry, right? Okay. So when you come to this point, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, SharePoint, and Microsoft Teams, what we are going to do. OneClass, Sway, Forms. This is not available to you. So because I am administrator, I will be given the administrator console. Otherwise, it is not available to others. So what you can do is now, let me quickly show you the, if you visit to Word, right? So you can create a blank document. So same as the Microsoft Office, right? You will be given all the panels and other stuff. So sorry about the loading because I'm using my mobile data. Right. So you will be given all the familiar tools to work with your documents. So when you want to rename it. Let's say test document. So let me say that, right? Test document. It is already saved. You don't need to click file and click save. There's no save. Just save as. So if you want to change the format, that's you can use. So test document, right? Saving. It says saving. Saved, right? So what you can do is close it. You wonder, okay, where can I find my files, right? Let me go back quickly to the page, right? So same as Google. So what you have done with Google Docs, Google Sheets, slides, and everything would be saved to your Google Drive. Samely, in Microsoft, what you do with those applications, all the files will be saved to OneDrive. Now, under this license, you will be getting 1 terabyte of OneDrive for your life, right? For the lifetime of the product, not the product, but your account. So you can store up to 1 TB here, right? But with the Google, it's unlimited. So yes, if you go to OneDrive, you save, right? So if I click it, it will be again open with Word here. Now, actually, this is called working in the cloud. So if you wish to work in this, no problem. The opportunity is there, right? Say internet connection is unstable. Okay. So now let's move into the Teams, right? So to go to the Teams, actually you need Microsoft Teams downloaded and installed. It's not like Zoom. Zoom is a very small software, a few megabytes, but Microsoft Teams is around 100 or 150 megabytes. So you need to download it separately by searching in the Google, go to the Microsoft website and get the Teams, right? So okay, it's kind of slow. That and I have already opened Microsoft Teams software, which is installed in my computer, right? When you open it for the first time, you will be asked for your username and password, which you need to give the same to log in into your Microsoft account, right? So here also you can create. So the technical term for the meetings and the classes and everything, it's called Teams, right? So when you say click, if you want to join, you can enter the code here, same as the meeting ID of the Zoom, or you can start create team, right? Now, Teams has more facilities than Zoom and Google Meet for conducting online classes, right? So it says class, professional learning community or PLC. That means it is something like connecting all lecturers together, so they can have a good professional level discussion about the students or the teaching, learning things and other stuff like that. So staff, so school administration and the others, right? So you can choose. The options available to you will be different, right? Let me choose class. So name, let's say test. Class, right? So you can't see, right?
We can't see anything
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
screen.
because this is coming with a different software. It's a pop-up window, sir. What I did was give a name to the class, and I need to add the students. So let me skip on that, right? What I did was only give the class name here, say test class. So don't worry about it, right? So what you can do is play with these things, right? So still you can't see. Okay,
Still we can't.
now you can see.
Yes, we
Can you see it
can.
now?
Yes.
Now we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that. Now what I did was I have created a new class called test class, right? So now here what I can do is I can manage, I can add members and other stuff. So I mentioned you that all students and others will be given these facilities. So this would be like the LMS. So all the students will be again available to you as well under YMB University. So therefore you can include the students to your classes very effectively, right? So today I'm not going to go into details with Microsoft Teams because even the accounts were not given to you yet. So therefore I'm not going to that detail, right? So now you can create the class and you can start conducting the class. Unfortunately, when we start to conduct in the class, I can't share it with you, right? So because the screen sharing is not working for two places at once. So therefore, I will stop in this point, right?
Excuse me,
Yes, sir.
Dr. Wen. Now this Microsoft Teams, they don't accept our Google account. We have to create that Kulia Pitia that dot.
No, sir, no. You don't need, sir. What we are going to do is from the ICT side, we are creating that for you. That's why I told you we are going to create your Microsoft accounts for you. And today I am going to share those account names and passwords with everybody.
Okay, thank you.
So you can log in with your username and test your account. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm not recommending anybody to start straight away with Microsoft Teams if you are not familiar. So please get familiar first by conduct few meetings or classes with, within the department or with few students. Then please go ahead because even the ICT centers are not focused still for Microsoft accounts and the Google Meet and stuff, because still we are stuck on Zoom because we are still trying to train Zoom for everybody. So that's the thing, right? So that's all about, I think, the Microsoft account, and let's move back to Zoom, right? So people who have successfully came into the Zoom account, let me share how to schedule a meeting very quickly, right? So what you can do is by clicking schedule a meeting here, or on the top, or if you go to meetings and by clicking a schedule a meeting here, you can schedule the meetings, right? So let me choose this link, right? So under these settings, there are only very few, right? So not to worry. You have to give a topic. Let's say test meeting. So this is not good to give names like test meeting and other thing, because this information is going to record under your name, under your profile. So therefore, be careful when you are naming a meeting. Give a proper name, right? When you are conducting a lecture, the course code and the lecture name. So that depends, right? You can give whatever you want, but give a meaningful name. So if you wish to give a description, it's fine. It's optional. So select the date, right? When you are going to conduct, the time, and be careful with the MPM, and mention the duration, because this is not a compulsory thing or get confused, because okay, there's a question. Let me answer for that question very quickly. Any advantages of Microsoft Teams versus Google Meet for the staff as packages? Yes. So this is the thing. Microsoft Teams and Google Meet has their own restrictions and facilities. So according to my personal opinion, with my ICT knowledge, Microsoft Teams provide more facilities for academics. So this is kind of facilities are available to teaching purposes. And get together the lecturers of the lecturer meetings or the administrative meetings, and they have classified them and they have facilitated them with different tools. So if you think as a whole, Microsoft Teams play a little bit, let's say it is a little bit advanced than Google Meet, but if you consider the simplicity, Google Meet is more simple. As you can see, it is very easy to conduct a meeting. Yeah, school teachers are currently using Microsoft Teams, yes, right? They are using, some are using, most of them are using Microsoft Teams because the CM package is also given to the schools. That's why they are very proudly using the Microsoft Teams, right? All the teachers were given the accounts. So is it easy to use? But keep in mind, only a meeting hosting person needed the account. Others don't need the account. Okay. So to attend a meeting or to attend a class, you don't need an account. But to conduct a class, you need an account. So that's how it works, right? Hope I gave my idea, right? So I'm not quite sure which one is more suiting. So that's up to you, right? Up to you to experience and decide. So Google comes with separate software bundle and a drive and stuff. So our emails are on Google Drive. So we have a little bit more privileges. And Microsoft, they are now offering the same services. So we have one-to-one services, like in the Google, we have Google Docs. Microsoft, we have Word. So if you consider which one is more familiar, Word is more familiar to us because we are using Microsoft Word from the beginning. So therefore, that's up to you to decide, right? So there are pros and cons with both. With the class sizes under 250, my personal opinion is Microsoft Teams play a little bit ahead from Google Meet, right? Let me go back to the Zoom then. All right, schedule the meeting, right? So these settings are a little bit important. So duration. Now I stuck on the duration. Now this is not a compulsory setting, but this is how it is important. Now let's say I have set my meeting for 2 hours. So this means my meeting is not going to end after 2 hours, right? Like a free account, it is not going to disrupt the meeting and turn it off after exactly 2 hours. No, it is not going to do that. This is going, let me show you in a minute. This is going with scheduling things. So this meeting can be directly imported to our Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar or whatever digital calendar we are using. So in that, the time slot need to be separated. So for that purpose, duration should be mentioned. So if you say, if you are going to conduct a meeting which goes for only half an hour, if you say 6 hours, so if I import this to my calendar, entire my 6 hours will be blocked with this meeting. So that is what happening. So therefore, be careful with this setting. People who are using calendars, they might be in trouble if you do not set this for correct, right? So it is going for planning, right? So time zone. Now, at the very first time, you will be shown a different time zone by clicking here. You have to scroll down, right? There's a small pointer there, right? Find it out and scroll down. Now we are at GMT plus 5:30, Mumbai, Kolkata, New Delhi time zone. So please select it, right? So if you want to do a recurring meeting like this today, right? Say you are doing it for Monday, 9:30 to 10:30, Tuesday 10:30 to 10:30, or by week or month by month. So you can put it's a recurring meeting, right? Frequency should be given daily, weekly, monthly, or no fixed time, right? So repeat every one day, date, time, everything should be set, right? So If it is a one-time meeting, don't put it. So registration, now please don't use this for the moment. This can be used for the meetings, something like very important meetings which is need voting or something like that. Other than that, don't put registration required, right? So leave it blank. Meeting ID, always keep it to generate automatically. We are not suggesting you use your personal meeting ID for a reason. Let me explain it in a very different forum, because these things have very technical stuff to be discussed. So I'm not going to do that now. So keep it in generate automatically. Meeting password. Now for the fun, a lot of people are using, okay, my thing is secured, I am going to put a password, so please don't do it, right? For lectures and other stuff, keep it blank, right? Don't select it, because now as you can see, the password suggesting by them are very difficult even to find where the symbol is in the keyboard, right? So, and there are restrictions, so you will be in trouble with the password. Okay, sometimes we have observed some password protected mails were not meetings were not working, right? So there are some technical issues as well, so better to leave it away, right? Now here, video, host and participant, off, right? Always keep it off. Now this means when you are logging into the meeting, your camera will be automatically turned off, the host and the participants as well. So this is important, because if you are not ready to show the video, right? So you have now, say in a hurry, when you are preparing to come to the office, or when you are got up early in the morning, and now when you are trying to log into the system and you are trying to do something else in your room, if you keep this on, your picture will be automatically broadcasted. So that is not good for the privacy. We also always try to keep it off, right? My recommendation is keep it off. And for audio, with the computer audio, please use computer audio. Telephone, which cannot be used in Sri Lanka, right? Now people who have the experience in US and European countries, they might know this. They have telephone numbers. You can dial to those telephone numbers and you can connect via audio. So in Sri Lanka, we don't have such systems. So therefore, don't select telephone, right? So always select computer audio, right? So these are the 5 important things you to know. Very first thing is enable join before host. Now, when I schedule this meeting today, I have enabled this, right? Because if I got late, right, others will be shown if this function is not turned on. If I got late to start the meeting, all the others will be shown the message, the host is still not started the meeting. So wait, right? So that is not good. So if I click this, whether I started the meeting or not, others can join and they are in the meeting. So they can keep talking and keep the meeting running. So this is very important. Mute participants upon entry, keep this. This is like the privacy for the audio as well. If you are in the home, say home people are talking, so keep it mute when you are logging, right? After log into the meeting, now you know that you are in the meeting, so you can turn it on if you need. So this third option is the enable waiting room option. So this is something that you need to use very cautiously, because if you turn this on, when the people try to join into your meeting, definitely the host has to start the meeting first and stay focused to the participants. When the participants are logged in, they were shown a message, now you are in the waiting room, you are waiting for host to be admitted. So now in our participants list, right, in Zoom software, you will be shown 2 sets. One are in the waiting room, one are in the meeting. So manually, by clicking one by one, you have to, the host has to admit into the meeting, right? So yeah, right. So okay, what's it? Enable waiting room, right? So enable waiting room can be used. Let me share one experience. I think our department, when conducting the special degree interviews, right? what they done was kept this enabled. So when the students are joining, right, not only all the students can be participate in an interview, right? So then that time, all the students were kept in the waiting room. One student was admitted to the meeting at a given time. So after he finishes interview, he can be put back into the waiting room and take another one inside, right? So like that, you can control your participants. So if you need a control on your participants without kicking them off from the meeting, you can use the waiting room, right? So last two, always recommend to keep it blank, right? Not selected. Only authenticated users can join or record the meetings automatically, right? This because only authenticated users can join selected. Only preset list can join the meeting. Others can't. Okay, so that is not good. That means if some difficulty with your account or email address, or if you forget the password or something happens, you can't log in. So don't use it, right? So record the meetings automatically. That is, I'm advising you to keep it blank, because in some cases, if you don't have the enough space to record the meeting, your software will be stuck and you will be in a big trouble. Okay, so always leave this blank, because we can start recording later, right? So without taking much time, let me save this meeting. And after saving the meeting, you will be shown a brief description. And if you want to add it to your Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar or Yahoo Calendar, by clicking these things, you can directly do that. What is the important thing here is this link, right? So under here, you will find a link called copy invitation. When you click that, hope you can see this, right? Meeting invitation is there, right? By clicking this copy meeting invitation button, you can copy this text and you can paste it in an email and you can send. But keep in mind, only two things which is important, not the two things, three things which is important is the meeting ID, the meeting link, and date and time, right? Those are the most important things that need to be sent, right? Other things you can erase, right? Or usually I erase. Up to this point, I am going to erase, right? So you can share it, right? So before the meeting, you can, by following same procedure, log into your account, and by clicking here, you can go to your meetings. Now under that, it says test meeting. So I can, by clicking here, I can start the meeting. Now I'm not going to do that, right? So that is how you schedule a meeting and conducting that, right? So I think the time is also gone. So let me stop at that point, right? So if you have any questions or need clarifications, please let me know.
Dr. Upanit, I have one observation to share. I think it is a kind of thing we should discuss about this using these tools.
Yes.
Sometimes, especially about like privacy, when we are turning on our microphones and videos, especially about the microphone, I had some observations one or two times that some private talks. At the same time, the most damaging, the talking behind, ඒ කියන්නේ අර පිටිපස්සෙන් කියන අනේ මූට මේකවත් තේරෙන්නේ නැද්ද වගේ ඒවා that we heard one or two times by the users when we were in meetings. So we have to be careful, because our brain is programmed to such a way that when we are responding to some of our thinking, when we are in front of a computer screen, we usually say that without thinking too much. But if your microphone is on, that is broadcasted, then it is going to create a really unpleasant situation that already happened in one or two meetings. I heard that like මේකට මේකවත් තේරෙන්නේ නැද්ද වගේ ඒවා like they got heard. So yeah, I think since it is etiquette that we have to specifically mention in this kind of situation, that always try to keep your microphone turned off and cameras turned on when you are ready, and at the same time please we have to be really behave very well to keep our politeness in the meeting. Otherwise these are sometimes recorded, and you can even be quoted out for saying bad things behind the people.
Yeah, totally agree with that, sir. Now, I think, especially with as academics, I think we have to be very much careful in front of the students as well when we are using these things. Always check before saying something. Check whether your microphone is muted or not, or the video is turned on or not. So that is really, really important. I totally agree with Manjula, sir. That happened. Yes. So it is not really, really good. So. Questions? Any other questions or comments?
Dr. Upaneth, I am
Yes,
Disanayak from English department.
Yes, sir.
So after leaving, I think now we want to leave the meeting room. After leaving the meeting room, is there? I mean, sometimes when we try to log in, there was a problem for some reason.
Yes, sir. That's actually a technical problem, not your problem, sir. That comes with Zoom servers. Because due to this corona pandemic, now the Zoom has been using the number of users has been skyrocketing. So that means even their servers cannot function as they required to do so. So in that case, there can be problems. So that's why, as a best practice, now if you observe carefully the meetings that we have conducted, I'm only referring to the meetings that we conducted ICT Center Kuliapitia.
Yes.
What we always practice was to send the link before 1 hour or half an hour before the meeting. That because at that time we have started the meeting and sent the link.
Okay.
So in that case, we are making sure that meeting is turned on. Sometimes there were problems when we schedule the meetings, let's say 2 days before, and when we come, it's like this. Think today's meeting, if I schedule it on last Saturday, and when I come today morning and try to start the meeting, it says our server busy or the service cannot be started.
Yes, yes.
So in that case, you need to send another email to the participants. This is not the link, this is the thing. So it is. So there are 2 emails coming now. You are not only receiving 1 or 2 emails per day, right? I know, obviously, all the academics are receiving, let's say, 50, 100 emails per day. So it's the same title came with 2 links, right? Same meeting, 2 emails, 2 links. So sometimes you might miss the original one. So you are in a problem. That means at the end of the day, you are not going to conduct the meeting properly. So therefore, to make sure the proper running of the smooth functioning of the meeting, but our practice was to schedule the meeting 1 hour or half an hour before the meeting time and start the meeting. After starting the meeting successfully, we are sharing the link. So in that way, you can guarantee that the meeting is there.
Okay.
Options. If you leave the meeting and try to rejoin, this is actually what happens, sir. Now,
yes.
Let me explain it in this way.
In fact, Dr. Upaneth, today morning we experienced the same, right?
Same, yeah, sir. Same.
Yeah, that's why we have to send a new link today morning.
Yes, sir. The same thing happens. So this is the thing, sir. Now we have a limit of 10,000 users. At the moment, the learn capacity is 10,000 simultaneous Zoom users in a given time. And also we have 2,500 hosting accounts. All right. So what can be happen is, if when you are trying to start a meeting, if all the 2,500 accounts were being used for hosting 2,500 meetings, you don't have a slot to conduct a meeting. So that means hosting accounts are over, because all these accounts were shared among all the universities. So you are given an account, but it is not fixed. It is a shared account, right? But information under that account will be shown only to you, but it is shared. This is a technical part. So that can be happen. Or otherwise, what is most of the time is happening is user limit. Now think all the users in university system are using the Learn, right? So let's say at the time we are starting the meeting, we had 9,990 participants who already occupied. So we have 10 more accounts. So until 10,000, there can be 10 people accommodated into whatever the meeting, right? We started. So when the 11th person came back, the simultaneous user limit is reached. So you are not allowed to log in back. So that happens. That also can happen, right? That happened already. So this is what happened when you try to schedule something in the peak hours. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you try to do this, this can be happen. So what happened to the Sun Anchor servers, when servers leaving the meeting,
Yeah.
it is like something under 10,000. When you try to log in back, the entire 10,000 accounts were completed. So you were not given an account. That's why you were rejected. For sure, I think you were in a meeting around 12. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, that's happened.
Yes.
That can be happened, sir. So
Yeah.
that's the thing.
It is safer to continue with the meeting,
Yes.
rather than leaving the meeting.
Yes, that's why as a precaution, we start the meeting and share the link. That means host is there, no? At least 1-2 persons can be join the meeting. That's
okay.
So Upaneth, one more thing, I want to just share this idea and get your opinion too, that sometimes we have seen that our internet connection bandwidth is not enough for us to have the video and audio both together.
Yes.
So at the same time, our home internet connection is shared with some devices, and some other computers are also using the bandwidth also. So in that case, turning off my video and only using audio is helping us to keep uninterrupted talking.
Definitely, sir, definitely. Because different people have different capacities in your webcams, right? So say you have a new computer, new laptop, that means definitely you have a higher quality webcam with you. That means the higher the resolution in the webcam, higher the amount of data is going to get transferred. So therefore, if you turn off your video or turn down your resolution with the settings, you can save a lot of your bandwidth, because compared to video, audio is only using 1/16th, maybe lesser than that 1/20th of amount of data.
Yeah, especially for the meeting, since the audio is the most critical thing, rather than keeping our the video on, having a picture pull out from your profile picture, and audio is helpful to have the smooth meeting, in my experience.
Yeah, actually it is. That is so correct. I'm totally agreeing with you, sir. Now
do the recommendation.
Yes, that is highly recommended. But there's one more thing, sir. Now say there's a boring meeting, right? What I'm doing is I'm turning off my camera and I'm going away, right? So that also can be done. So if that's so, it is not good too.
Okay.
So
at least you can keep it open when you are listening, and when you are talking, turning it off is maybe
not sir. Maybe time to time showing yourself with video. That means you are alive and you are in the meeting.
Yeah, right now I can't do that,
idea.
but I can talk.
Yes.
Dr. Upaneth, now I experience that keeping the mic mute will give us very less quality audio. And when I switch on, only we are even with turning off the video is okay, because that will save a lot of data. But when I switch off the mute button, then we are getting the low quality audio we are listening. Then when it switch on only, we are getting very good quality audio from the system.
Actually, sir, that I'm not quite sure, because the listening audio is coming out from the speakers and the microphone. When the microphone is blocked, I'm not sure that. I have to check that, sir.
Depends on the system, yes.
Depends on the system. So maybe with some operating system and your drivers of the particular hardware of your sound card, and those things, depending on the settings on those things, it can be, sir. I'm not sure. I'm not saying it is not, or it is, or can be. we have to check and make sure, because you are having the experience, so with your computer.
Yes.
So that's up to you.
That's okay.
Dr. Upaneth, I'm Dr. Menaka.
Yeah.
Actually, last week we have a very bad experience with related to the workshop we have conducted by the head project. The number of students for participation of that workshop was exceeded more than 300. So we were unable to log in for the workshop. Tomorrow also there will be another workshop. So we will be face the same problem tomorrow. So
no, madam, that it's like this, madam. Now I have discussed this topic yesterday even. Now it's the thing like this, madam. Now we have a limitation of 300 participants in the conference system because we are allowing everybody to interact. So if it is not right, what we can do is to overcome that is we can actually we can stream. Let me share that with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can stream our meeting. So we can share our meeting to stream our meeting to YouTube as well. Right? So it is not showing here. I can't remember where exactly the setting is. Okay. Let me check and show it to you. Some settings cannot be seen when the meeting is going on.
Okay.
Let me check and share it with you. What you can do is you can share the meeting directly to YouTube, and you can share the YouTube link as well. So the people who don't want to interact with the host, they can go to the YouTube link and see the same thing. Yeah, at the same time it can be seen.
Okay.
So we'll try that on tomorrow then, madam.
Okay.
Then at least students can get the thing now.
Yeah. Okay, we will do that right tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll try that. We'll try that tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Dr. Upaneth, I think one more thing, when I was having discussions with students, I noticed that some student had turned on their microphones and getting, noisy from the background from their homes.
Yes,
so at that time, I think I had the privilege to mute them by myself. If I am so that is something to, I think we can share
always
for
I think
new host.
Yeah, actually muting by the host can be done. Host can mute, turn off the video, ask to turn on the video, right? Do things like that can be done with the host. But actually, sir, it is always I think the best practice is to mute our devices by ourselves, because we know about the environment of our places. So therefore, we have to be very cautious about that, and we have to have a training or a practice always to mute our audio while we are in a meeting. If we need to talk only, we have to unmute ourselves. After finish talking to the meeting, definitely we have to unmute us again. So that is what we need to practice. And also, I think it is best to inform the students or the participants in a meeting at the very beginning who are not familiar, right, to the system. Please keep your microphones muted. So I think in that way we can omit that happening. But anyway, I think individually the participants need to get those things, best practices, right, adapted to their situations, I think.
One more thing to, I think, share is to use the earbuds whenever possible, because that feedback problem when we are talking, right?
Yeah, definitely, sir. If you are not using a headset, earbuds or headset, what will happen is the voice coming out of your speakers will fade back into your microphones. So it will going rounds and round, making an effect called echoing. So the only precaution is to turn off the mic or turn off the sounds. If you use a headset or a headphone, so I'm using my earbuds. So headset, earbuds, and I'm using actually a handset, hands-free of my mobile phone. So if you are using something like that, the voice will come to your ears, which is not going to the mic. So definitely the echoing problem will be sorted out. If one user is having an echoing problem, everybody in the meeting will get affected. So the best thing is to host to mute them again. So that's why I told only the host should allow to, or the host or the talking person should be allowed to turn on the mic, and others definitely keep it off.
Dr. Puneet, I'm Cham.
Yes, sir.
If host is sharing a screen, then participants can write on the screen. Can the host disable that one?
Yes, of course. With the settings, yes, you can.
Because
when
host is doing the things, it is not good to write on the participants.
Yes, definitely, sir. Definitely, that can be controlled with the settings. You can allow the students to interact, or you can only set everything to host. So that can be done.
Right. Thank you, Puneet.
Hello, Dr. Puneet.
Yes, sir.
I'm Vishwajit. Just a quick question.
Yes,
now, we are having a bit of a trouble when you do the lectures. Throughout the lectures, some students get lost. They're disconnected and rejoining. Now, at the end of the day, we'll at the end of the session, we'll take the attendance. All the rejoinings count as a new attendance.
Yes.
So basically, we get about a lot more than the number of students that we have in the class. So how we are going to screen that? There is a way that we can reduce repetitions, right? Or remove repetitions.
Yes,
can you please
that can be controlled with turning on the registering the people while joining the meeting. Let me share with that. I have omitted that. I asked you not to do that, but now I had to ask you to do that. So let me go back to the settings on, let's take this particular test meeting, which we have created, and go to the bottom, go to edit meeting. Now, registration, I mentioned required. I have not selected required, right? So if I say required, so your logins will be filtered out. Automatically, it will be filtered out because you are logging in with your email addresses. So therefore, the same email address won't be appearing again and again.
I see. So is there any special requirement for students to log in then?
No.
Straight away they can log in with with one click, right?
Yeah, but they need to provide some information: their first name, last name, and email address, and those information.
That is at the beginning. At the beginning.
At the very beginning of the joining the meeting.
All right. So best thing is we can click that required one. So
yes. For the lectures, if you have a requirement like that, yes.
Yeah, and also we are having some complaints from several students, those who are in different corners in the country, saying that they are having some difficulties of audio and video both.
Yes, sir.
So have you done any kind of a survey or any kind of a feedback from students to see the
actually now we have asked from the deans, so check whether there's a problem with that, sir, because ICT center does not have the contacts of the students directly now. So for that we have asked the deans to do that. Now check whether your students are having some difficulty and make sure to arrange something. So that's why some request came like if they can't join into the meetings, please, if you are doing a Zoom meeting, please record it and put it in the LMS so students can later they can access it. So things like that has to be done because we all agree that the entire country is not covered with the emoji, and yes, that is so true.
Lovely. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Any more questions? Now we are running out of time, I think.
Excuse me, Dr. Puneet. Sorry for interrupting. That students say that our PowerPoint and other presentation they can't download. That we have to set the settings. No, that means enable student to
in the LMS, sir.
LMS.
Okay. Let's talk those things tomorrow, I think, sir, because we have 2 days.
That's true.
To talk, but for just for an idea, there's no separate setting that you need to allow them to download, sir, because if you allow it sharing, then it can be downloaded.
Yeah, we have done that, but they said it's difficult to download. Online, they have to see. some.
That because it's like this. Sometimes when you click those files, the settings were there to open them in the browser. Sometimes they are downloading to the computers. In the mobile phones, you are not downloading. Your particular application will open that for you. So there are things happening like that. So you have to be aware of that. The users.
If there are no any other questions, shall we wind up the session? Okay, thank you so much for everyone who joined today. The count went up to 100, in fact, close to 100. So it seems that we are conducting some useful sessions to the academics and other staff. In fact, today, tomorrow onward, we are to have 2 sessions. I mean, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we are to have 2 sessions on LMS. I think that would be much useful for the academics, and the sessions are open only for academics. But if others need, of course, they can join. But LMS related workshops will be useful only, I guess, for the academics. And by inviting today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow's workshops, I'm going to wind up the session. But finally, I need to say that I reserve a big thank to again ICT Center, particularly Dr. Upaneth and his staff, for helping me to conduct SDC to conduct this workshop. So shall we, let's meet tomorrow, and keep in mind that we are going to share a new link. Am I correct, Upaneth?
Yes, sir. Better to start.
Yeah, we are going to, yes, you know the difficulty that we face today. So we are going to share a new link for tomorrow's workshop. We'll try to share it at the earliest so that you can share it with, sorry?
9 o'clock, sir?
Tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow, 9 o'clock?
Okay, we'll share by tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Okay, thank you for joining. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, ma'am.